I decided not to come in on my corporate jet. And I don't know what to say, because all of you, everybody in this room, presumably understands the value of what we have and the importance of it to the community, and also, I dare say, to the university. You know, I remember when I was a student at Juilliard, and I have a hard time describing this sensation in any way that it can make any sense to anybody. But some of you might know what I'm talking about, because maybe you've had a similar experience sitting in a dark theater watching a play. And I had the opportunity because of a girl I was seeing at the time who was in the original company of Amadeus. And Ian McKellen, who was starring in that production, decided to give a private viewing of his one-man show, in which he played all these characters from the canon, including both Romeo and Juliet. And I was a student at the time. I suppose I was about 19 years old or 20 years old. And he was up on that stage alone. And Ian sat there and did Juliet's speech and said this very simple line. It's choking me up just thinking about it. He said, "Whiter than new snow upon a raven's back." And I'd heard those lines a million times, and I knew them, and I could quote them, but in that instant, sitting in that theater, it was as if I had been electrocuted. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. I had that image so sharply and strongly in my mind, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back, and suddenly the thought process, the extrapolation from there that was happening all inside my little head, from these few words, was cosmic. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but I couldn't shake it for days, that feeling. And you know, I think that's really the ultimate experience of theater. It's these great words, and what a great actor can do with them, and what it is to be sitting in a group of people and suddenly have a very singular experience that will stay. I'm now 50 years old, so that was 30 years ago, and I can remember that feeling, and I wouldn't trade anything in the world for it. And that's what we do. I don't know. It's something very, very profound and very human. And all the science and all the learning that is so important to humanity means nothing without that perspective. And I think we owe it to this community to do everything we can to give them that perspective. There's a lot of great work going on up there at that university, but it's meaningless without us, I feel. So I say that saying to you that Shakespeare Santa Cruz, in my life, is only 1 year. And of course, I have a vested interest in its continuing. And I would lose a lot losing Shakespeare Santa Cruz. But what you would lose, what the people in this room would lose, that for 3 decades have had it part of their life, I can't begin to speak to that. So it has a much deeper effect than me, certainly. And the other thing I want to say is just that I have found that after 1 season here, that the word has really gotten out. The word was out before, but I have been amazed at how the company that we had here last season has gone back to their hometowns. the word has gotten out, and I'm inundated by people that want to work here. They want to be a part of Shakespeare Santa Cruz. And that makes me feel very good. It makes me feel like we did something right last season. And the people who were involved, the staff, I think, can attest to what an extraordinary company we had here last year. But finally, I want to say, you know, Shakespeare Santa Cruz has had, from what I can glean, this problem all the way through, this challenge. And that is to let this community know that Shakespeare Santa Cruz is not supported by the university. Not that it is not supported, but we are not just completely funded by the university. And the community has to know that. They give us a lot of in-kind support. They have helped us through our deficit years, absolutely. And they give us a little bit of operating expense money. But the truth of the matter is, the support for this theater has to come from this community. And if this community is not willing to step up to the plate, if they don't feel that it's in them, or that this theater isn't important enough to keep as part of this community, then Shakespeare Santa Cruz, I'm afraid to say, shouldn't be here. And I feel that very strongly, so I hope we can. Yes, that's it.